We'll explain it later on.
So when you hear Mr. Reed talk about 60s, what pops into your head? Are you starting to think about the weekend and making some plans to get outside and enjoy that weather, the spring-like temperatures? A lot of folks certainly are. Let's get out to meteorologist Stacey Ann Gooden, who's live for us at the Douglaston Golf Course, where I hear a lot of folks have been making calls. Stacey Ann.
Oh yeah, Corey. You said it. Let the warm-up begin. Notice I'm not wearing a jacket? Yes, because we are in the 50s, as Mr. G just pointed out. Over 100 came out to enjoy the golf course, and we had a chance to speak with some of them, and they already making plans to come back tomorrow. And yes, even though there's rain in the forecast, maybe the day after that. Leafless trees showing signs of winter, but come this weekend, it'll feel more like spring, and folks here at the Douglaston Golf Course are ready to tee off.
We'll get out there tomorrow. It's supposed to hit 60, but it's supposed to rain, be cloudy. But we'll brave it. I like it hot, but if it's weather like this, I'll come out.
Does the cold weather affect your golfing?
It does. Yeah, it's freezing out.
I imagine like your hands, everything gets numb. It's hard to hit the ball.
Yeah, the ground's harder. Can't put the tee down.
It's a good excuse for the bad scores.
There you go.
When it's nice out like this in the cold weather, you got to go where you could go.
I'm not insinuating that you should call out, but it's possibly going to be record temperatures.
It's a good idea, but
good chance.
I can't. I'm on camera right now.
The last time temperatures reached the 60s was on November 26th of last year. The high was 61 degrees at Central Park. The mercury is expected to rise beyond that this weekend, possibly breaking the 1975 record of 63 degrees tomorrow and the 2017 record of 66 degrees on Sunday. General Manager Jason Zaretsky says that even though the winter crowd is sparse, he expects a huge turnout tomorrow.
This is more of a typical winter day. This screen right here, how it's very empty, and this is tomorrow. It's just booked the whole day.
All right. Well, you know, Zaretsky also said that the height of the season for him is usually June, July, where it's nice and warm, summer weather. They usually book about 350 each day. And get this, they have already booked well over 200 for tomorrow. So clearly people are already making plans to enjoy this mild weather. Back over to you guys.
I love it. We should all be doing that. Stacey Ann, thank you so much. Well, 100 additional security cameras are going to be coming to several Brooklyn neighborhoods, all in response to the recent rise in anti-Semitic attacks. Mayor de Blasio saying the NYPD is going to install the cameras in Williamsburg, Crown Heights, and Borough Park. The first 30 cameras, they'll be in place by March. And then police are going to talk with community leaders to figure out the best locations for the remainder 70 of those cameras. There'll also be an increase in officers patrolling areas that have been targeted, all part of the city's wider initiative to fight hate crimes, which jumped by 20% last year.
Well, new developments tonight in the escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. New reports suggest that the U.S. targeted a second top Iranian official, but that mission was unsuccessful. Also today, President Trump issued new sanctions against the country. The White House also doubled down on intelligence reports that Iran shot down a commercial jet near Tehran. In the back and forth between the U.S. and Iran, the U.S. is striking back, this time with economic sanctions.
We will continue to apply economic sanctions until Iran stops its terrorist activities and commit that it will never have nuclear weapons.
The sanctions come as a result of the Iranian attack on U.S. and allied troops in Iraq in retaliation for a U.S. strike that killed Iran's top general. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo continues to defend the rationale behind that attack.
We had specific information on an imminent threat, and those threat stream included attacks on U.S. embassies. Period. Full stop.
But some members of Congress are still questioning whether the attack was truly imminent. Meanwhile, Iranians say sanctions will not bring them to the table.
Either you want to have a dialogue or either you want to apply sanctions.
And to add to the escalating tensions, new details on the plane crash in Iran that killed 176 people aboard a Ukrainian plane.
We do believe that it's likely that that plane was shot down by an Iranian missile. When we get the results of that investigation, I am confident we and the world will take appropriate actions in response.
Iran denies the claims and says they're inviting international partners, including the U.S., into the investigation. Ukraine reportedly now has access to the black boxes that records data from that flight and voices from the cockpit. An Iran news agency said the boxes will be open today, but the process of downloading the information could take up to 2 months.
Well, several firefighters among 5 people injured when a fire broke out in Hell's Kitchen. It happened this morning, and you're looking at video from Citizen app showing fire trucks surrounding the apartment building near 9th Avenue and West 46th Street. FDNY saying at least 4 firefighters and 1 civilian were hurt. At this point, the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
We told you yesterday about nearly 300 new subway cars being pulled from service. Well, tonight the MTA is saying they will not be put back into use until each and every one is inspected and repaired. The measure comes after 2 incidents involving the new cars where the doors opened about 4 inches, triggering the brakes. It happened on a southbound C train in Brooklyn. The MTA says the problems are systematic and the new software update needs to be installed. Until then, the older subway car models will be used.
Well, musicians and fans are mourning the loss of legendary musician Neil Peart.
Yeah, we're just learning the drummer from the band Rush died this week. Peart, part of the rock trio for more than 4 decades. Besides the elaborate percussion, he also wrote the lyrics for some of the band's best-known songs.
A representative for the group confirming he died on Tuesday in Santa Monica after a 3-year battle with brain cancer. The 67-year-old, widely considered one of the most influential drummers of all time.
Well, still ahead, a proposal to ban cell phones for anyone under the age of 21.
Yeah, we're talking about that one tonight. And then there's this, a New Jersey mom shocked and disgusted. She ordered diapers from Amazon, and when she opened the box, she says they were used.
Oh, man. Then there's this, a medical mystery. One family trying to figure out how a healthy teenage girl is suddenly paralyzed. And now we have some answers ahead.
You're watching the Pix 11 News at 5 with Tamsin Fidel, Corey Chambers, and Mr. G with your weather. We're New York's very own.
Well, it has been a week of new developments and arrests nearly 8 months after the disappearance of Connecticut mom Jennifer Dulos. And the case also shedding some light on domestic violence concerns.
Yeah, now one Connecticut lawmaker is calling for change. Pix 11's Ayana Harry joining us now with the details. Ayana.
Good evening. Jennifer Dulos and her children, they lived in a close-knit Connecticut community. So after prosecutors charged her husband with murder, friends, neighbors, even lawmakers wondered, were there warning signs we all missed? And if so, how do we make sure that never happens again?
Jennifer Dulos was my constituent.
New tonight, the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos could lead to a change in Connecticut state law, shining a light on domestic violence in parental custody cases.
There's an opportunity for Connecticut to sort of catch up and be at the forefront of the reforms.
For 2 years, Jennifer and Fotis Dulos were locked in a nasty divorce. Jennifer told the court her husband was verbally abusive and she feared for her life. After Fotis Dulos was arrested for her murder this week, Connecticut State Senator Alec Bergstein declared it was time for change.
We stand here today seeking justice for Jennifer.
Bergstein is introducing the Child Safety First bill to change how judges handle custody cases.
Family violence and abuse must be considered before other factors in custody cases. And courts must rely only on experts trained in abuse and trauma to make their determinations.
Earlier this week, as state police announced the latest criminal charges against Fotis Dulos:
murder, felony murder, and kidnapping.
Officers involved in his arrest wore purple neckties and purple ribbons, a sign of domestic violence awareness. At a press conference organized by friends of Jennifer Dulos this morning, State Senator Bergstein said too many warning signs around that volatile divorce were missed.
These cases are often the result of abusers weaponizing the legal system to harass, intimidate, and destroy the person who dared to leave.
The Dulos case could lead to even more proposed legislation. Connecticut Senator Bergstein also questioned why the standard for obtaining a restraining order in Connecticut is so high.